I specifically told you. No, there it is.
Next week. It's running back.
They keep stacking. This shit is second nature, you feel?
Shedeur Sanders made history yesterday, and the excitement was electric.
I don't know what in life happened to make you think that this wasn't gonna happen. I don't know what the bro do to not be able to see that this was gonna happen. So where's the surprise? I'm sure why were you surprised?
If you watch film, what did you expect him to look like?
Mm-hmm.
He looked exactly like he looked in Colorado. He looked exactly like he looked at Jackson State. Calm under pressure, in the pocket, going through progressions, making the right throws. The supposed to say, well, he wasn't going against the Panther starters. Well, obviously, if he's not going against the Panther starters, or if he doesn't have his starters as well, and what he has at his disposal and look that good with the 2s and 3s and maybe the 4s that are trying to make the team, what do you think is going to happen when he has the main characters in there around him?
Right.
That makes your job a little bit easier. That are a little bit better at their position than those that he's playing with tonight. What do you think going to happen?
Shedeur Sanders made all those teams that had 143 chances to draft him before he went 144th. He shamed all of them, including the Cleveland Browns, who finally took him in the 5th round. I'm convinced only because the owner, the publicity-starved owner, just wanted some more shock value publicity. Oh, we took him.
One thing of being a quarterback is leading your team. I'll say definitely the scoreboard. I think we did that pretty good. And just being consistent, even though if things going our way or not going our way, being able to bounce back and not stay in the hole. Being a quarterback is going to be ups, downs, it's going to be pros, cons, everything. So you just got to stay level-headed.
What if I told you that Shedeur Sanders isn't just a talented rookie quarterback? He's the centerpiece of the most calculated NFL takeover in history. While everyone's been watching Dylan Gabriel throw interceptions and Kevin Stefanski make mistakes, Shedeur has been playing chess while they're playing checkers. The evidence is hiding in plain sight: strategic silence, perfectly timed social media posts, and a father with more NFL connections than any player in history. This isn't just about football, this is about building an empire, and the Sanders family is 3 moves ahead of everyone else. The NFL has never seen anything like what's happening in Cleveland right now. While Dylan Gabriel struggles with turnovers and coaches scramble to explain their decisions, Shedeur Sanders is orchestrating the most masterful psychological campaign in recent memory. This isn't luck, and it isn't just talent. This is a dynasty in the making, guided by the most connected man in football history, Deion Sanders. Today, I'm going to expose exactly how Shedeur is manipulating every situation to his advantage, why his humble approach is actually a ruthless strategy, and how Deion's network is pulling strings behind the scenes to guarantee his son's NFL dominance. From Nike campaigns that appeared overnight to mysterious injuries that benefit him perfectly, nothing about Shedeur's rise is accidental. The Sanders family isn't just playing the game, they're rewriting the rules entirely. To understand how Shedeur Sanders is orchestrating this takeover, you have to understand the empire his father built over 3 decades in professional sports. Deion Sanders isn't just a Hall of Fame player, he's the most connected man in American sports, and he's been positioning pieces on this chessboard since before Shedeur could walk. Think about Deion's network: NFL executives who played with him, coaches who learned from him, media personalities who built careers covering him, and corporate sponsors who made millions off his brand. When Nike dropped that 5-word campaign around Shedeur's debut, that wasn't a quick marketing decision, that was Deion calling in a favor from relationships built over decades. The timing of everything proves this is coordinated. Shedeur's preseason debut against Carolina wasn't just scheduled, it was strategically positioned. Carolina had nothing to play for, their defense was depleted, and the game was perfectly set up for a breakout performance. Meanwhile, Dylan Gabriel got thrown to the wolves against a motivated Eagles defense. Coincidence? Not when your father has been working in NFL front offices for 30 years. But here's where it gets really calculated. The Man Center documentary series filming the Browns quarterback competition. You think it's an accident that the Browns decided to document this exact quarterback battle at this exact moment with these exact players? Deion's media connections run deep, from NFL Network to ESPN to every major sports outlet. This documentary isn't just capturing a competition, it's creating a narrative that positions Shedeur as the inevitable star. The 2.2 million viewers for Shedeur's debut didn't happen organically. That's nearly a preseason record, and it came with coordinated social media campaigns, strategic media placement, and promotional pushes that don't just appear overnight. Deion's been building relationships with network executives, programming directors, and marketing teams for decades. When his son needed a platform, the entire machine activated simultaneously. Look at how quickly GM Andrew Berry's "I'm proud of you" comment to Shedeur leaked to the media. Front office conversations don't just accidentally become headlines unless someone with serious connections wants them to. Deion knows exactly which reporters to call, which stories to plant, and how to control the narrative without leaving fingerprints. The merchandise sales tell the real story. Shedeur jerseys were outselling Dylan Gabriel's 4-1 before either had been named starter. That's not organic fan enthusiasm, that's coordinated marketing leveraging Deion's brand relationships and distribution networks. The Sanders name isn't just famous, it's a business empire with tentacles throughout the sports industry. Most telling is the infrastructure already in place. While other rookies are building their brands from scratch, Shedeur inherited a ready-made platform, social media following, media relationships, corporate connections, and marketing expertise. This isn't just nepotism, this is dynasty building at the highest level. Deion didn't just raise a quarterback, he engineered the perfect NFL takeover vehicle and spent 30 years building the network to guarantee its success. While Dylan Gabriel was making headlines for all the wrong reasons, Shedeur Sanders was executing the most sophisticated psychological warfare campaign in recent NFL history. His weapon of choice? Strategic silence that spoke louder than any trash talk ever could. When Gabriel threw that pick six against the Eagles, followed by a fumble handoff, social media exploded with criticism. This was the perfect moment for Shedeur to pile on, to take shots, and to claim his superiority. Instead, he posted 5 devastating words: "Don't lose that energy. I'll be back very soon." The timing was surgical, posted exactly when Gabriel's mistakes were trending, ensuring maximum visibility while maintaining plausible deniability. This wasn't a rookie getting lucky with social media. This was calculated psychological manipulation designed to get inside Gabriel's head while positioning himself as the mature alternative. The message was clear without being direct. Gabriel was temporary, Shedeur was inevitable. But the real masterpiece was his response to Kevin Stefanski's confession. While chaos engulfed the Browns organization, with emergency meetings and volcanic eruptions from ownership, Shedeur maintained complete radio silence. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no leaked statements through representatives. For a player who had been actively engaging with fans and critics, this sudden silence wasn't restraint, it was strategy. Sources described Shedeur watching developments unfold from his apartment surrounded by his inner circle, strategizing next moves carefully. This isn't how surprised players react to unexpected news. This is how prepared chess masters respond to moves they saw coming 3 steps ahead. The silence served multiple purposes. It made him appear above the drama, it forced everyone else to fill the void with speculation that favored him, and it positioned him as the calm, professional alternative to the chaos surrounding Gabriel. While Gabriel was scrambling to defend his entertainer versus competitor comments, Shedeur was letting his opponents destroy themselves. His social media strategy throughout this entire controversy reveals a level of sophistication that most veteran players never achieve. Every post was timed for maximum impact, every silence was calculated for psychological effect, and every public appearance was designed to build his brand while undermining his competition. The humble persona he's cultivated is perhaps his most brilliant move. While Gabriel came across as defensive and insecure, Shedeur projected confidence through restraint. He didn't need to attack his competition because he knew they would attack themselves. He didn't need to demand the starting job because he knew the situation would demand it for him. Even his injury timing was strategically perfect. The mysterious oblique injury that sidelined him for the Eagles game wasn't just convenient, it was genius. It kept him out of a potentially difficult situation while allowing Gabriel to struggle in the spotlight. Then, miraculously, he was healthy enough to return to practice immediately after Gabriel's poor performance. This isn't just good instincts, this is psychological warfare at the highest level, orchestrated by someone who learned from the master manipulator himself, Deion Sanders. The apple didn't fall far from the tree, it was strategically placed exactly where it needed to land. The most damning evidence of Shedeur's orchestrated takeover lies in the corporate machinery that activated the moment he stepped onto an NFL field. This wasn't organic brand building, this was a coordinated campaign involving some of the biggest names in sports marketing, all working to ensure one predetermined outcome. Nike's involvement is the smoking gun. Major corporations don't create marketing campaigns overnight, yet somehow Nike had a 5-word campaign ready to launch within hours of Shedeur's debut. Think about the logistics: concept development, legal approval, creative production, media buying, and distribution coordination. This process typically takes weeks or months, not hours. Nike knew exactly what was coming because they were part of the plan from the beginning. But Nike isn't just any corporate partner. They're Deion Sanders' longtime sponsor and the company that built their brand around athletic dynasties. The Jordan brand, the LeBron empire, the Kobe legacy, Nike specializes in creating generational wealth through sports marketing. Shedeur isn't just their next quarterback, he's their next dynasty project. The NFL Network's coverage reveals another layer of coordination. Shedeur's debut drew 2.2 million viewers, nearly setting a preseason record. But here's what's suspicious: the promotional push for that game was unprecedented for a rookie's first appearance. Prime time slot, extensive pregame coverage, social media campaigns, and celebrity endorsements all aligned perfectly. This level of marketing coordination doesn't happen accidentally, it requires months of planning and significant financial investment. The merchandise strategy exposes the predetermined nature of this entire operation. Shedeur jerseys were available for purchase and outselling Gabriel's 4-1 before either had been named starter. Retail partnerships, inventory planning, and distribution networks were already in place, suggesting that corporate partners knew who the winner would be long before the competition began. ESPN's coverage patterns reveal another piece of the puzzle. While Gabriel's struggles received standard rookie analysis, Shedeur's every move was treated as breaking news. His social media posts became segments, his practice performance became headlines, and his silence became storylines. This isn't journalism, this is coordinated content creation designed to build a brand. The Man-Centered documentary series represents the ultimate corporate conspiracy. The Browns didn't just decide to film their quarterback competition, they partnered with production companies, streaming platforms, and media distributors to create content around a predetermined storyline. The access, the narrative structure, and the promotional strategy all point to a scripted outcome with Shedeur as the star. Most revealing is the speed of brand activation. Within weeks of joining the Browns, Shedeur had Nike campaigns, documentary features, merchandise lines, and media partnerships that typically take years to develop. This infrastructure was already in place, waiting for activation the moment he signed his contract. The corporate world doesn't invest this heavily in uncertainty. They invest in guaranteed returns, predetermined outcomes, and dynasty potential. Every major brand partnership, every marketing campaign, and every media strategy was designed around one assumption: Shedeur Sanders was always going to be the starter. The competition was just theater to justify what corporate America had already decided. While everyone focused on Shedeur's rise, the most ruthless aspect of the Sanders takeover was the systematic psychological destruction of Dylan Gabriel. This wasn't just competition, this was character assassination orchestrated with surgical precision to eliminate any threat to the predetermined outcome. The setup began with Gabriel's debut assignment. While Shedeur faced a depleted Carolina Panthers team with nothing to play for, Gabriel was thrown against a motivated Eagles defense in a high-pressure situation with limited first-team reps. This wasn't coincidence, this was strategic positioning to ensure Gabriel would struggle while Shedeur looked polished by comparison. Gabriel's performance was predictably shaky, 18 completions on 29 attempts, 173 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 2 costly turnovers. But here's the key, these weren't catastrophic numbers. They were just mediocre enough to justify the narrative without being so bad that Gabriel looked completely incompetent. The perfect level of failure to serve the Sanders agenda. The media response was suspiciously coordinated. Gabriel's mistakes were replayed endlessly, analyzed to exhaustion, and turned into memes within hours. Meanwhile, Shedeur's similar statistics from his debut were treated as evidence of greatness. Same completion percentages, similar yardage, but completely different narratives. This level of coordinated coverage doesn't happen organically, it requires orchestration. Shedeur's don't lose that energy. "I'll be back very soon" post was the psychological kill shot. Posted exactly when Gabriel's mistakes were trending, it delivered maximum damage while maintaining plausible deniability. This wasn't trash talk. This was psychological warfare designed to get inside Gabriel's head and destroy his confidence. The entertainer versus competitor controversy was the final nail in Gabriel's coffin, but even this played perfectly into Shedeur's hands. Gabriel's comments revealed his frustration, insecurity, and desperation, exactly the character flaws that would justify replacing him. Shannon Sharpe's immediate connection to Oregon's similar comments about Colorado revealed this as a recurring pattern, suggesting Gabriel had been psychologically compromised for months. Kevin Stefanski's confession calling Gabriel's selection a mistake wasn't a slip-up, it was the orchestrated finale to Gabriel's character assassination. The timing, the language, and the media response were all too perfect to be accidental. Gabriel wasn't just losing a competition, he was being publicly humiliated to justify the predetermined outcome. The locker room dynamics shifted dramatically within minutes of Stefanski's comments, with players celebrating privately and expressing relief about returning to Shedeur. But these reactions were suspiciously well documented and immediately leaked to media. Real locker room conversations don't become headlines unless someone wants them to. Gabriel's representation reportedly contacted him immediately after the press conference, demanding clarification and exploring options. This suggests they knew the fix was in and were already preparing damage control strategies. Gabriel wasn't just losing a job, he was being systematically destroyed to clear the path for the Sanders dynasty. The most brutal aspect? Gabriel never had a chance. From the moment Shedeur signed with Cleveland, Gabriel's role was predetermined, serve as the sacrificial lamb to make Shedeur's inevitable coronation look earned rather than orchestrated. This wasn't competition, this was elimination by design. What we're witnessing in Cleveland isn't just a rookie quarterback taking over, it's the activation of Phase 1 in the most ambitious dynasty plan in NFL history. The Sanders family isn't just building a career, they're constructing a multi-generational empire that will dominate professional football for decades. The infrastructure is already in place. Deion's coaching success at Jackson State and Colorado proved he could develop talent and build programs. His media relationships provide unprecedented access and narrative control. His corporate partnerships offer financial backing and marketing expertise. And his NFL connections guarantee opportunities and protection for his sons throughout their careers. But Shedeur is just the beginning. Shedeur Sanders, his younger brother, is already being positioned as the next wave. The family's social media strategy, brand partnerships, and media presence are building a platform that can support multiple NFL careers simultaneously. This isn't just about one player, this is about creating a football dynasty that spans generations. The timing of Shedeur's NFL entry was strategically perfect. The league is desperate for marketable stars, social media engagement, and cultural relevance. Shedeur provides all three while carrying the Sanders brand recognition that guarantees instant attention. The NFL didn't just get a quarterback, they got a ready-made marketing phenomenon with built-in storylines and guaranteed viewership. The Browns organization has become the perfect launching pad for this dynasty. Their desperate fan base, extensive media coverage, and organizational instability create the ideal environment for a Sanders takeover. The Man-Centered documentary series isn't just capturing a quarterback competition, it's documenting the birth of a dynasty for future generations to study. The corporate partnerships reveal the long-term vision. Nike's immediate campaign activation, the NFL Network's promotional push, and the merchandise strategy all point to investments in sustained success rather than short-term gains. These companies aren't betting on one good season, they're investing in a decade-plus of Sanders' dominance. The psychological warfare we've witnessed is just the beginning. Shedeur's strategic silence, calculated social media presence, and orchestrated humiliation of competitors establish a template for future Sanders family members. This isn't just about winning in Cleveland, it's about creating a playbook for dynasty building that can be replicated across multiple sports and generations. The most telling evidence of the dynasty plan is what hasn't happened. Despite all the success, media attention, and corporate partnerships, the Sanders family has maintained complete control over their narrative. No leak controversies, no family drama, no organizational conflicts. This level of coordination and discipline doesn't happen accidentally, it requires systematic planning and execution. Phase 1 is nearly complete. Establish Shedeur as an NFL star, build the brand infrastructure, eliminate competition, and create the foundation for expansion. Phase 2 will involve leveraging this success to position other family members, expand into media and business ventures, and establish the Sanders name as synonymous with football excellence. The NFL thought they were getting a talented rookie quarterback. Instead, they've welcomed the first phase of a dynasty that will reshape professional football for generations. The Sanders empire isn't just rising, it's already here, and Cleveland was just the beginning. The evidence is overwhelming. What we've witnessed in Cleveland isn't a rookie quarterback competition, it's the masterful execution of the most calculated NFL takeover in history. Shedeur Sanders didn't just win a starting job, he orchestrated a systematic campaign that eliminated his competition, manipulated media narratives, and activated a corporate machine built over 3 decades by his father. From Nike's impossibly fast campaign launch to Kevin Stefanski's perfectly timed confession, from Dylan Gabriel's psychological destruction to the coordinated media coverage, every piece of this puzzle was strategically placed by the Sanders dynasty machine. This wasn't luck, talent, or even hard work, this was chess mastery at the highest level. Dylan Gabriel never stood a chance because he was never supposed to win. He was cast as the sacrificial lamb in a drama designed to make Shedeur's inevitable coronation look earned rather than orchestrated. The mysterious injuries, the strategic silence, the perfectly timed social media posts, all of it was calculated to create the illusion of competition while guaranteeing a predetermined outcome. But here's what should terrify the rest of the NFL. This is just phase 1. The Sanders dynasty isn't just taking over Cleveland, they're building a multi-generational empire that will dominate professional football for decades. Shedeur Sanders is already being positioned as the next wave, and the infrastructure is in place to support multiple NFL careers simultaneously. The NFL thought they were getting a talented rookie quarterback. Instead, they've welcomed a dynasty that will reshape the league's power structure for generations. Every other organization should be asking themselves, are we competing against players, or are we competing against an empire? What other competitions in the NFL are actually predetermined outcomes orchestrated by powerful families and corporate interests? Let me know in the comments what storylines you think are manufactured, and make sure you subscribe because I'm going to keep exposing how dynasties manipulate the league from behind the scenes. Next week, I'm revealing how the Manning family controlled NFL narratives for 2 decades. The connections will blow your mind. The Sanders empire has arrived, and Cleveland was just their first conquest.